The sun was setting behind the glass towers of coal industries, painting the sky in shades of orange and gold. Inside the private mansion of the company's owner, a priceless masterpiece rested silently in the center of a marble-floored garage. A car so rare that even billionaires waited years to get one. A Ferrari LaFerrari, crimson red, limited edition worth millions. And completely dead. For 3 long months, the car had refused to start. Not a click, not a spark, just silence. To most people, losing access to a car wasn't a tragedy. But to Ms. Adriana Cole, a fierce, sharp-minded CEO known for her discipline and pride, this car wasn't just a machine. It was her trophy, her dream, her symbol of power. The fact that it stopped working without any explanation was a humiliation she could not tolerate. Dozens of engineers from Ferrari's own headquarters, top automotive specialists from Italy, Germany, the UAE, and even Formula One technicians had flown in. Each examined the car with their advanced scanners, diagnostic laptops, and high-tech tools. Hours turned into days, days into weeks. One by one, the experts shook their heads. "There is nothing wrong," they repeated. "Everything seems normal. We have no idea why it won't start." Their words only fueled Adriana's anger. "What do you mean, nothing's wrong?" she snapped one afternoon, her voice echoing across the garage. "The car is dead. Something is wrong. Find it." But nobody could. By the end of the 3rd month, the garage felt like a graveyard. The engineers stopped talking, tools lay scattered around, and the LaFerrari, pride of her collection, stood there useless, like an expensive statue. Finally, one stormy evening, Adriana lost her patience. Standing before her team with a cold expression, she made a declaration that shocked everyone. "I don't care who it is, mechanic, technician, engineer, even a teenager from the street. Whoever fixes this car will get anything they ask for. Money, job, villa, anything." Her staff stared at her. The offer was insane, but desperate times demanded desperate measures. The next morning, a line of hopeful mechanics formed outside her mansion gate. Most were professionals from top workshops, carrying brand-new toolkits and wearing polished uniforms. Among them stood a young man in faded jeans, a dusty t-shirt and worn-out shoes. A small, dented toolbox hung from his hand. His name was Rayan Malik, a 24-year-old local street mechanic with no degree, no certification, and no reputation. People around him laughed. "You think you can fix a LaFerrari? This isn't a rickshaw, bro. Go home before you embarrass yourself." But Rayan ignored the comments. His eyes were fixed on the mansion gate, not with hope, but determination. When his turn came, the guards hesitated. No professional ID, no workshop card, no certificate. Rayan simply shook his head. "Let him in," came a voice from behind. Adriana herself stood there, observing him, with curiosity. Something about his calm, steady posture caught her attention. She gave a small nod. Inside the garage, Rayan saw the LaFerrari for the first time. Its paint gleamed even under the dim garage lights. But to him, it wasn't a luxury. It was a puzzle. And machines, no matter how expensive, always spoke the same language. The chief engineer scoffed. "This kid thinks he can fix what we couldn't." Rayan didn't respond. He walked around the car slowly, touching the edges, feeling the panels, listening. Not with a stethoscope or scanner, just his instincts. He placed his palm flat on the hood and closed his eyes. "You talking to the car?" one engineer mocked. Rayan opened his eyes softly. "Yes." That single word silenced the room. Instead of using the diagnostic computer, he crawled under the Ferrari on his back. His fingers traced the wiring, the panels, the connectors, every inch. After a few minutes, he whispered, "I found the problem." The engineers burst into laughter. "No, you didn't." "Impossible. He hasn't even checked the electronic system." But Adriana raised her hand sharply. "Let him speak." Rayan stood up, dusting himself off. "The issue isn't electronic, it's physical. A grounding cable near the auxiliary battery is loose. This car needs a perfect ground connection to boot the hybrid system. Without it, the power cycle doesn't start." The engineers stared at him in disbelief. "That's impossible. We checked everything." Rayan calmly kneeled beside the left rear panel, unscrewed a small cover, and pointed at a thin cable. "This," he said, "is your problem." And indeed, the cable hung just barely loose, almost invisible unless someone physically touched it. Rayan tightened it gently, then secured its clip. "No, try starting it now," he said. Adriana walked toward the driver's seat, her heart pounding. She pressed the start button. For one moment, nothing. Then, vroom! The LaFerrari roared to life with a thunderous growl, the engine awakening like a sleeping beast. The garage shook with its power. The lights reflected off its body as if the car itself had come back from the dead. The engineers froze. One dropped his tool in shock. One gasped. Another stepped back, stunned. Adriana stood beside the car, speechless. She slowly approached Rayan. "What did you say your name was?" "Rayan," he replied. She stared at him with disbelief, admiration, and confusion. "Rayan, you fixed something that the best minds in the world couldn't." He shrugged lightly. "Machines speak, you just have to listen." The CEO's next words were quiet but carried weight. "Who are you?" For the first time, Rayan smiled. "Just a mechanic." But to everyone in that room, he was no ordinary mechanic. He was the man who had done the impossible. And this was only the beginning. For a long moment after the Ferrari roared to life, the garage felt unreal, like time had paused. The engineers who had flown in from around the world stood frozen. Even the security guards outside peeked in, unable to believe what they just heard. The sound of the LaFerrari running, smooth, flawless, powerful, echoed through the marble walls. But no one was looking at the car anymore. All eyes were on the quiet, humble young man with dusty clothes and a small toolbox. Rayan Malik, the CEO, Adriana Cole, approached him slowly. Her heels clicked across the floor, each step measured, controlled, but her eyes showed something she was not used to feeling. Shock. "You solved it," she said quietly. "You solved what the best engineers in 3 continents couldn't." Rayan remained calm. "It was just a loose grounding cable, ma'am." Adriana shook her head. No, it was not just anything. It was hidden, invisible, unreachable, unless someone knew exactly where to look. The chief engineer stepped forward, embarrassed but honest. We didn't think it could be a physical cable issue. We focused on software. You thought the machine was too smart to have a simple problem," Rayan finished. The room went silent. He wasn't mocking them. He was telling the truth. Machines were like people. Sometimes it wasn't the complex issues that caused breakdowns, but the smallest, ignored details. Adriana crossed her arms, studying him. "How did you know where to look?" Rayan hesitated, then answered simply, "I grew up fixing machines that nobody believed were worth saving. Buses, tractors, old engines, generators, broken tools. I learned to feel where the problem is. Not everything can be understood through a computer screen." His voice was gentle, yet full of sincerity. It hit her harder than he realized. For someone like Adriana, who spent her life in rooms full of screens, numbers, and reports, his words felt like a different world. She took a deep breath. "Come with me." She led him out of the garage and into her home office, a room filled with awards, art, expensive furniture, and a giant window overlooking the city. "Sit," she ordered. Rayan sat awkwardly on a leather chair that probably cost more than his entire workshop back home. Adriana sat across from him, pulled out a pen, and slid a blank check toward him. "Write any amount you want. You earned it." Rayan's eyes widened, but he didn't touch the check. "I don't want money." Adriana paused, confused. "Everyone wants money." "I don't," he repeated respectfully. "Then what do you want?" she asked, leaning forward. Rayan raised his head. "I want help. Not for me, for others." Adriana blinked. She didn't expect that. "With the reward you offered," Rayan continued, "I want to build a garage, not a normal one, a place where poor families can repair their cars without paying a fortune. Most people can't go to big workshops because the bill is impossible for them. If you support me, I can help thousands." Adriana stared at him, stunned. A mechanic who rejected wealth to help strangers. It didn't make sense in her. She tapped her fingers on her desk thoughtfully. "World, You're asking for land, tools, a building. This will cost more than the car you just fixed.
Rayan nodded. I know.
And you won't earn much profit, she added. I know that too. Then why do you want this? Rayan's eyes softened. Because when my father was alive, he used to fix every kind of machine. People came to him when they had no money. He never took payment from the poor. He said fixing something is not just repairing metal. It's repairing someone's hope. I want to continue what he started. There was silence again, deep, meaningful. For the first time, Adriana saw something she had forgotten existed. Kindness without agenda, skill without ego. After a long pause, she stood up and walked to the window. Rayan, she said finally, the world doesn't reward people like you, but it should. She turned to face him. You'll get everything you're asking for. Rayan stood immediately. Thank you, ma'am. I won't disappoint. I'm not finished, she interrupted. Her voice became firm. I don't just want to support you. I want to partner with you. Your garage will be built under the Cole Foundation. You will run it, and I will fund every part of it. His mouth fell open slightly. Ma'am, that's too much. No, she said. It's exactly the right amount. She extended her hand. For the first time in years, someone reminded me that greatness isn't measured by money or power, but by heart. Let's build something that matters. Rayan shook her hand with gratitude and disbelief. 2 months later, a brand new building stood at the edge of the city. A sleek structure with glass walls, bright lights, and a large logo on top. Malik Care Garage, supported by the Cole Foundation. People lined up outside, poor taxi drivers, single mothers, delivery workers, farmers. They brought their broken cars, bikes, and machines. Rayan and a small team worked tirelessly, fixing everything from old engines to worn-out clutches. And all repairs were either free or almost free. Word spread fast. People said, there's a place where honesty still exists, where the mechanic doesn't cheat you, where kindness is real. Every week, Adriana visited the garage, not as a CEO, but as someone learning a new world. One afternoon, she arrived and found Rayan repairing a taxi whose engine had overheated. A young mother waited nearby with her 2 children, worrying about the cost. When the repair was done, Rayan wiped his hands and said, It's fixed and don't worry. No charge. The mother's eyes filled with tears. Bless you, Beta. No one else would help. Adriana watched quietly, her heart unexpectedly warm. Later, she approached Rayan. You changed more lives in 2 months than my company did in 2 years, she said softly. Rayan smiled. Machines break, ma'am, but people do too. If I can fix one of them, so that's enough for me. She looked at him with deep respect. You didn't just fix my Ferrari, she said. You fixed something in me too. He chuckled shyly. Just doing my job. No, she whispered. You're doing far more. And as the sun set behind the new garage, with people thanking Rayan and cars rolling out repaired and shining, Adriana realized the young mechanic hadn't simply shocked a CEO. He had changed the entire meaning of wealth, success, and greatness. And the Ferrari? It never broke down again, because it had been revived by someone who didn't just fix machines.